You don't find that solving some of that stuff gives you some sort of satisfaction, or?
So yes, I find that again, I'll do something.
Mm-hmm.
Those people will then be like, well, he was able to do that. Let's give him more responsibility to do more things. And it's like, you kind of shoot yourself in the foot.
Yeah.
Because for example, like the job that I had when I first came up here, it was solely to be the social media guy.
We came up where?
To San Antonio.
Okay.
Yeah.
And context.
Right. So
context.
Moved up here 2022, took up a job at a church to do their social media. And it was solely to do that, engage with the audience, grow the following, post stuff. And someone warned me and they said, do not let them know you take pictures. I was like, it'll be okay.
Put a pin in that. This is at a church, right?
Yeah.
Okay. When I got on at a church too, I had that same warning.
Yeah.
That almost to a T, that exact same warning. So says something about that environment.
Right. And this isn't dogging on churches. I just want to make that clear. But I will say that there are a lot of places that will take advantage of your skills and they'll label it under service.
I don't know if you want to open up that can of worms, because
we might have another episode going on right now.
I will pop that top. We'll have worms all over this table, boy. Okay, just
you know what?
A little bit of, well, I mean, just a little bit of that, because I think it's, churches are an interesting dynamic a lot of times.
Sure.
Because there's a full gamut of different types of churches, different denominations, different way of doing things. In my experience, you have churches that are small. They don't have a budget to have people on that know what they're doing. It's solely based on volunteer work. The church kind of thrives or fails based off of those volunteers. I don't think there's anything wrong with volunteering to a church. I think churches need volunteers.
Agree.
I think it's great to volunteer at church. You get the community. You get it's your like a family. You give to something bigger than yourself. I'm all for that. Where I think we start running into an issue is once those churches start growing or larger churches, because ultimately churches have to function as businesses,
right?
You have to keep lights on. You have to stay relevant. Churches ultimately have to function as a business, and I'm not naive to the fact.
Sure.
But you start getting into a point now where you're so large that you have to have people.
Yeah.
You have to have people in place. These smaller churches, if such and such doesn't show up on a day, it sucks, but it's not going to derail the service because they'll just pivot and do something else or put somebody else in the place as a volunteer, and nobody's expecting them to be perfect at it. Larger churches, you don't show up in a certain role, and it's like, we expect you here every Sunday at this time. Yeah. What do you mean you can't show up? And so it's like, and even worse, if this person is a volunteer and not hired, now that puts something on their shoulders that they're expected to show up. They're expected to be perfect. They're expected to give their all, come to practices or whatever, and stuff throughout the week. Meanwhile, they still have full-time jobs and families and things like that. And the churches, in the name of service, expecting them to give everything else that they have.
Right.
That doesn't sit well with me.
Right.
If you have somebody that's in a position and your church can't function without them, they should be getting paid. They should be getting compensated. Now, you can argue like, well, it's service. We shouldn't have to pay you to serve, and well, put volunteers in place. And don't expect, like, put a rotation. This person does one Sunday, this person does another Sunday, this person does another Sunday. But you're never going to get it perfect.
Yeah.
This is always going to be a volunteer level. If you want a professional in that space that you can rely on and you expect to show up,
right,
they have to be compensated for their time. They have to be.
Right.
And, you know, a lot of times it's, you know, and I'm seeing it like, it's definitely not at the rate that they would charge. Like when I do stuff for churches, I don't charge the rate. And that's my sacrifice for the church. You know, right. Hey, I'll come in and I'll do this and I'll give you my all, but I'm leaving here with something.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, like Denzel, I'm leaving here with something. But I mean, I can go on and on about that. And I think, you know, even with the term church hurt, a lot of that stems from people feeling like they've been taken advantage of,
right,
in positions or, you know, doing things, and it's like they look up and it's been like 10 years and this now, because you want to try to do something else or open your own business, and like, oh, well, we needed you here at this event. I guess we got to get somebody. Like it's I've seen it with my own eyes. Those comments, like, to make you feel bad, but oh, we understand. You know, you got other stuff going on.
Yeah.
But those comments, they cut deep.
Yeah.
They cut deep, and they build up, and people, you know, people are in tune to stuff like that, and they're like, oh, well, maybe my position here is, you know, maybe I'm being taken advantage of a little bit, you know?
Right.
So,
and that's why I'm saying, like, just because you can do it doesn't mean it's for you. There are different atmospheres for different people. And just because, again, you can get the job done, maybe that's not for you.